Hey guys, market cap Bitcoin analysis. So interesting, and let's just give everyone the heads up. We are through 245 at the moment. We've probably gone to an all-time high somewhere in close to 247, 48. Can't seem to get the exact moment there, but we're through 245 after a nice sell-off and then a rebound on Bitcoin. But the point I really want to make to you is the following and the value of HVF method. So we did a HVF comparison of this is utilizing the method of the market cap including Bitcoin versus the market cap without Bitcoin, and what we found was the market cap with Bitcoin was going rather strongly at one point, and it was fizzling on the ones without. This was showing relative strength to Bitcoin, and we kept most people biased weighting big on the BTC, aka Bitcoin. What subsequently happened is that we got the breakout, we got the fast move, we called for the 190 going for 200 billion market cap to be run. That was when we were down by the 170 billion market cap. First set up in a new trend equals overperformance, and BTC to overperform the general alts. Then we get the assessment as it is today at this much higher level. Way back there is that setup that we originally called. So let's make this a little bit bigger so everyone can see it. There was a pump just shy of 200 billion. This is your key level of significance, the 200 billion mark. So it stalled for a while. We first met it at 4th November, and then it churned, a little bit of a pump, and then fall away. That ties in with a trade we were very fortunate to be in with. That was when the alts went big. So that was the 12th of November. The 12th of November was the Bitcoin Cash pump, which saw Bitcoin Cash absolutely drain a fair amount of money out of Bitcoin mainly, and some of the other alts, but particularly Bitcoin. And you got the alts market cap actually hit 110 billion there, but with the sell-off it subsequently came down quite strongly. From the lows of the Bitcoin Cash correction back down, we were very lucky, as I say. Most of our guys were in that. Some of it were 100% weighting in that, like me, and attained between 3 and 4x depending on various numbers of entries that they took, so the average being about 3.5 times their pot. So it was an awesome trade for us. However, since then you'll note that the alts have been relatively less zippy from the lows of Bitcoin Cash. That would have taken them back to about 92 billion in total market cap excluding Bitcoin, and they touched an all-time high of around 107 over there. That's about 16.3 from all-time low to all-time high, getting quite close back to the all-time high again. That's the alts, essentially the coin market cap excluding Bitcoin. At the same time, 12th November, you could see the sell-off that affected Bitcoin a fair amount. So that sell-off in the market cap, a lot of it was Bitcoin shedding to cash, because when you looked at that same date in and around 12th, 13th, 14th of November on the alts, you can see that they were going up quite strongly. Hence why it didn't go down so much on all the market cap, because what Bitcoin was giving up was being picked up by cash. So there was a bit of shrinkage on the market cap, but after respecting the key 200 billion level, by the way, the next obvious mega level for that is going to be the 250 billion. We're 5 billion away. They're gobbling up billions in seconds at the moment sometimes, so who knows. But we did get a bit choppy just before it. But that move from the all-time low, which was the Bitcoin Cash dump before Bitcoin itself started taking back some of its dignity, has been 28%. So if you failed to be waiting on Bitcoin, you would have actually been losing. You would have had a 16% move when a 28% move was actually on the cards. And bear in mind, this is a 28% move at the time that most of the coins were doing an aggregate of 16% move. So this is Bitcoin and all those alts. So those alts are weighting at 16%. Bitcoin's done far better to give an aggregated overall 28% move. It helps that it's more than half the market cap, but it's done substantially better to pull the 16 up to an overall 28% move. So that's a 12% that it's lifted the average. So that means it's done 12% higher than that, probably closer to 40%. And now if we go check the Bitcoin price back down at 12th of November, you will see that it was in and around 40% 40% below, well, plus 40% would have taken it to the levels we're facing now, which is 8,400. So interesting stuff. So Bitcoin has been the trade. Now, what's tempted some people is everyone's got all interested in the alts against the dollar, and this is the problem. If you aren't benchmarking against Bitcoin and you get too seduced by setups on the dollar, you could even have breaks, they could even perform. But if Bitcoin is outperforming that as well, in other words, your setup for your favorite alt is not against Bitcoin because Bitcoin's been too strong, Bitcoin still may be the best game in the town. It doesn't help if Ethereum goes up in dollars, but only marginally so, when Bitcoin is going up in even greater levels. And you might say, oh, but that's okay, I've got more fiat. Value your money in crypto. You are doing value destroying work. Get all your income in crypto, live and get all incomes in crypto, and then have all your expenses in devaluing fiat. That's the smart way to play the game. But if you're asset managing your wealth and you're wanting to build it, the benchmark you should look to attain is Bitcoin. It's the higher one and you should be gaining it. So if you weren't exceedingly weighted here, and you could have even taken mild shorts against the alts, in spite of them going up, Bitcoin is very stable and has been stronger. You would have accumulated Bitcoin. At the very best or worst, certainly be very close to 100% Bitcoin. If you have to hold a few alts, you should have been roughly 75%. Did we execute perfectly on this? Not really, because we met our target here, and we could see it was stalling at the key level of significance, but we did get a huge benefit and went 3.5x plus on our Bitcoin Cash, so we net up. But during the rest of the period post the cash dump, we shed a small amount of Bitcoin and been nibbled away, because we have some Bitcoin, but we also have some of those alts, and we've been bled out with its underperformance. So this just goes to show quality patterns are where the action is. First time in a new trend, continuation is the game. This could have been a head and shoulders. They rarely work. Why? We don't trade reversals, especially in crypto. That could have been a left, that could have been a head, that could have been a right, a micro head and shoulders, didn't break. This could all be a left, that could have been a head, and that could have been a right, didn't break. Every time we get this structure, it's often just breathing for Bitcoin before going further. And everyone might say, oh, so technical analysis doesn't work. The right technical analysis for the right market conditions certainly does work. We trade continuation in an expanding market. You can trade reversals in an expanding market. You can short Amazon all the way up from its $18 to its $1,000 if you want as well, because it's never made a profit, and all the reasons people give you. Don't trade the narrative, trade the chart. Recognize the market's expanding and trade with the power. Everyone who calls this a bubble, I refer to my bubble video. I also refer to my valuation video I did yesterday. That is on the Reset Sniper. Go follow it there. Anyway, if you want to understand more about this and the HVF method, from next year will be 2 Bitcoin in cost, so it's your last chance to get a very powerful program for substantially less in the run-up to the 31st of December. Pop over to the Market Sniper. We'll be doing a webinar where we'll go over the product and the details, and also our take on a few things, some nice little interesting bits for you, and you can book by popping over to the site. With that, I love you and leave you, and don't argue with a king for now. As long as it stays that way, stay with him. That's Francis, the crypto sniper, saying goodbye for now. None of this is intended as advice for you.